Hi guys, this is Vidas.
And Ausra.
Let's start episode 789 of Secrets of Organ Playing podcast. Today will be very strange topic for discussion. How to deal with arrogant organists. And because in life, of course, you discover all kinds of people, right? And some organists are more humble than others, and some on the opposite end, right? So we thought this topic will be relevant to a lot of our listeners who have to deal with variety of personality types.
Yes, I think so too. Are you arrogant with us?
Yes,
Yourself?
I think you have to be arrogant to be on the internet. Somewhat arrogant, right? Because humble people just stay at home and don't even show their face and remain anonymous, and you have to have certain amount of arrogance to share something, to create and share. Don't you think, Osha?
Yes. Do you think I am arrogant?
Of course, yeah, we both are arrogant, and that's one of the weaknesses and strengths at the same time, you know. In some ways it's a weakness because some people can say, oh, they're talking down to their audience, yeah, like they're sort of judging others, right? Perhaps we cannot do anything right, but we still judge others, right?
Yeah.
And on the other hand, it's a strength because it gives us a sense of worth, you know, of our worth, that we are worthy of sharing our perspective. Don't you know? All right. Let her speak her mind.
But if you think that, you know, only showing your arrogance, it, you know, sort of, well, projects your worth, maybe you are really worthless. Don't you think so?
Of course I'm worthless. That's why I'm on the internet, to show my worth, right?
Basically, you know, what I think about my arrogance is that I'm trying not to show it. And what triggers me actually is the impolite or nasty comments. That's when, you know, we trigger my arrogance.
But the question probably is not really about us.
Yes.
Because
the question is about real stars, you know, and our discussion is about real stars, really famous organists who often are quite arrogant.
Yeah, you don't have to deal with us. You see, in real life, we don't really meet, probably. We meet real organists, of course, but on a limited scope. Yeah, here we broadcast our ideas, you know, for thousands and tens of thousands of people to hear if they want to. But probably the question more relevant is if you encounter, and if we encounter in our lives a person, an organist, who can be perceived as arrogant, for example, and maybe they hurt your feelings, you know, and how to deal with that situation.
Yeah, you know, because I think the real arrogance is when you purposely hurt somebody, I think. Or you hurt maybe not purposely, but you still hurt because you are too high up, you know, even to care about other people and other people's feelings.
They take other people for granted, basically.
Yeah.
They other people serve their purpose, like objects. Right?
Yeah, and you know, well, if looking from the historical perspective, I think that the first such an important and arrogant figure probably was J.S. Bach.
Yeah, that's where we learn from the best.
Yes, Because I think sometimes he exhibited like false modesty. For example, when somebody praised his playing, he said, "Oh, you just need to to press the right key at the right moment." And obviously, this was sort of false modesty, which was also probably the
A form of arrogance
yes,
too.
and
Disguise, in
yes,
disguise.
another story, when he had a fight with a Zippel fagottist.
In Arnstadt,
Yeah,
in his youth.
and I think he also was put to jail, probably not without any reasons. Another thing, how arrogant you should be that you would travel somewhere else without permission, and would spend what 3 times more time there as it was expected from you.
Instead of 3 weeks, 3 or 4 months he was there.
So
To Lübeck.
I think this shows some really some time of arrogance. But on the other hand, don't you think he had tried to be arrogant? Being really genius.
A genius, yeah. If you are on the receiving end of his arrogance, no, it doesn't sound well. Yeah, doesn't sit with me. But if you are a genius like J.S. Bach is, and there are certain people that are on his level today too, in organ world.
Well, yes and no, I think.
Let's pretend that they are, and they might think that they deserve to be recognized as stars, and others just bow down to them and serve their purpose.
Well, and why I said that remark, why I think that probably there are no such geniuses as Bach today, because I think he was genius in his compositions, in his organ performance, and in his improvisation. And nowadays there are really very few people who could do all these three things equally successfully, because we know, for example, in Holland, wonderful improvisation. I won't name the real names for this, but I'm sure you will guess what I'm talking about. Who improvises like God, but for example does not compose music. And we know like French organists who probably also improvise very nice, but let's say we don't teach, as Bach had many pupils, many, Bach circle. Think about all this, pupils who continued his work, his sons, Kirnberger, Krebs, all the others. So he really made a huge impact on, performance, improvisation, composition, and education as a teacher. So I really doubt that you would find anybody today who does that equally well on all these 4 levels.
Not long ago there was, I think, one person who came to mind in the previous century, for example.
Yeah,
Marcel Dupré, for example.
but I'm talking about today.
Right now.
Yes, like today.
And I'm not even sure if Dupré was arrogant or not. What his contemporaries said about his character.
I think he probably was.
Might have been,
yes.
Okay, but he was a very comprehensive creator, right? On all of these levels, composer, organist, improviser, and pedagogue.
But on the other hand, I think if you are really close to genius and you just be just like a regular guy without any arrogancy, then might nobody look seriously at you, because
You're
if you sort of show how how fine you are, how arrogant you are, then people will probably look at you as a god.
Yeah.
And worship you.
Look in the world of sports, in athletes.
Definitely.
Let's say baseball, basketball, and let's say football, or American football and soccer in Europe, right? Of course, these stars some of them for sure are arrogant, right? And get into all kinds of scandals, you know. So, but that's very appealing to the audience, right?
Yeah,
They can gossip about them.
sure.
Not only about how
Yeah.
good they are in the field or on the playing
You know,
arena.
like I just a couple days ago, I really thought about your father. Vidas's father was a painter, famous in his region, in his city. Many, you know, people knew him, but well, now when he passed away already, you know, since the 2012, he gets forgotten little by little, you know. Of course, his colleagues, you know, people in his city still remembers him, but I thinking, why is that? Because his paintings are really beautiful and deep and, you know, really creative. He was true artist, really. But I think what he really lacked, scandals about himself, about his biography, you know, because we don't have like, you know, numerous lovers and no big scandals. I don't know if he would have beaten somebody or, you know, did something bad publicly, insult somebody, or, you know, do other scandals around him. I think it would be easier basically to promote him through his, you know, character, through his biography, because if you are just really talented man or woman and focus on your field of expertise, doing your art day on day, but you are not not pushing yourself through scandalous things, basically nobody cares about you. That's my opinion.
So I think you're now very thirsty, right, Osha?
Yes, I think we should.
Let's come back after the break with our Secrets of Organ Playing mugs and talk a little bit more about being on the receiving end of arrogance, yeah, and how to actually deal with such people. Good. On the receiving end, for example, if somebody rather famous demands from you something, right, without any explanation, without any social etiquette, right, usually these people are perceived as arrogant.
Yes, and that's often the case actually.
Did you have such a situation before?
Yes, I think I had similar situations, but you know, I think the most important thing is that, you know, that arrogant genius is just a man or a woman, and you know, you are just a human being basically. You are both human beings, and on that part you are equals. So always remember that, you know, when dealing with people that you are thinking are, you know, right above you. So
Yeah, so without naming any names, because these are all living
yeah,
persons and we don't want to offend anybody here. Maybe you look up to the, you know, a certain person whom we might, you know, regard as arrogant, for example, and vice versa. Without naming the specifics, I think I also remember situations when somebody would, well, let's say, a very practical situation. I could receive hundreds of messages asking for a visit to St. John's Church.
no, that's true. You receive maybe not hundreds, but really
Hundreds,
a
but
lot.
not in one day.
Yes, not in one day, but over the year.
Yeah. And some are more friendlier than others, some are more polite, some are less polite, some are only about themselves,
Yeah.
some are about you, right, in the case of a request. So, yeah, and if I receive the request which is only about them, right, out of the blue, that person is not on my radar, for example. I don't know him or them. I don't know them. Chances are that I would shrug my shoulders and just move on with my day, right, Osha?
Yeah, and request like this comes actually, yeah.
You have to earn somebody's trust in order to request something.
I just remember like somebody really, really famous who even did not write himself, but through the secretary demanded my dissertation, for example. So whatever, I don't care that he is, one of the world's most famous organists. What's in it for me,
And you directed them to the online place
Yes,
to
to the
buy.
United States where all the dissertations are, in one hold. So
All right. So yeah, basically, you have to earn somebody's permission to approach them, right?
yeah,
And in today's social media world, it's very easy to get in contact with somebody and ask right away, but it's the wrong way probably to do
sure.
it.
I remember when you receive those emails. Oh, I will be in Vilnius, let's say tomorrow. Yes, sometimes we just write in an evening before, and I want to see this and this and that and this instrument.
Or even today,
Yes.
I'm in Vilnius right now, and this is what I want.
You are not a dog owner. This is not your dog. You are not allowed, to whistle, and he won't come. That's definitely the case.
So naturally, maybe I'm now arrogant, right? Being arrogant that I don't want to show the instrument that we are responsible for to the public just because they didn't ask politely or
Yeah.
according to social norms as we understand them. Because maybe in their culture it's normal, completely normal to ask, for favors.
Yeah, that's actually we receive also quite a few requests from Africa, basically, and we often neither introduce themselves, no, as politely. We just see what we need.
Sometimes we even received questions. For example, sometimes we would answer questions on the podcast, but even then, you could actually go back to the archives of our conversations here and find the person from similar country, and and a question from question you could actually compare how other people send questions and requests to us, for example, and somebody are just plainly, I wouldn't say rude, of course not rude, but just I don't know,
Uncivilized.
maybe. We perceive as arrogant, but I don't know about their culture again. You have to know the context a lot to say what you think. So I can't really say why they're writing like that. Requesting something without commenting something on our work. That's what I'm actually referring to. If you only request something from somebody on the internet, that's fine, but it's better to actually to compliment them other people, right? To make them aware if you appreciate their work, and
Yeah.
and then you're more likely to get a positive result yourself.
Yes, and my rule in life is that I try to treat other people in that way as I wish they would treat me.
That's a good way. Yeah.
I never, sort of take out my sword first. But if somebody will, get nasty to me, then I will show my all the arrogance.
Yeah, like a mean school teacher.
Yeah, somebody called me that. Okay, I'm okay with that. I can live with that. It's okay. Sometimes you need to be mean.
Especially at school. Yeah.
Yeah, unfortunately. Yes, but otherwise, just be polite with people, be friendly, and because most of people are friendly too, and most of people are not arrogant, but we are talking about those, you know.
A few exceptions,
Yeah.
basically, to the rule. And if you meet those people, you have a choice, right? One is a choice to give them what they want, and another choice is actually to teach them a lesson.
But another thing, if you are giving somebody to such person, never, never imagine that he or she will give you something back. That's a really wrong idea, because if it's not too much what he or she is asking from you to do and you want to do it, then do it, but really don't expect anything back, because otherwise you probably won't get anything back from that person, and you will be really deeply offended.
Mm-hmm. Well, and of course, for example, when we receive some requests or some things that they want us to do, we already earned their trust. You see, we broadcast our ideas for a decade or more. They know us. We earned their trust, and we haven't heard of their trust. Yeah. And sometimes we could receive a message, a request out of the blue from a person who we know, right? We haven't spoken, he's a stranger, they're a stranger to us, but we know their work, and we respect that work. And if we respect that work, even such a out of the blue request seems okay.
Yeah.
Because this person is maybe very busy, to write a deep and polite message, to us, and they go straight to what they want, to the issue.
That's right.
So if I'll take a sip, another sip.
It means that we probably need to finalize our podcast. And
yes, so if you are on the receiving end of arrogance, think about how to behave. Sometimes you can just move to the side and give them what they want, or sometimes you just stand your ground and show them the right way to behave. Like on the street, two people, if somebody goes straight to you, right? And what do? You move away or you stand your ground?
I would move away.
Yeah,
On
of
the
course,
street.
most people would move away. Yeah, so that's why we have arrogant people on the street.
Yeah.
And driving cars, for example, too. Drivers will know these experiences, right? All right, so thank you for your thoughtful questions. We help other people grow, but of course it's important for us also to express our ideas too. So today was our idea, but it was influenced by the message of our good friend and mentor Jean Bidi. And by the way, without going into any details, we didn't want to, of course, for privacy reasons, obviously, but definitely this issue hopefully was relevant to a lot of people.
Yes, I think sometimes those geniuses, we are probably sociopaths.
Yeah.
And I think that people, we simply don't care about others. We just care about themselves. We don't care if we will offend you We don't think about your feelings, so just ignore them. We are not worth of you worrying about them.
But the trouble is, in today's world, sociopaths are more and more common.
Yeah,
I think.
yeah, I think so too.
I think people in general are not communicating well with each other and spending more and more time on their screens with technology. And younger generation also at schools, for example, they don't know how to deal with their peers and also with teachers as well. That's increasingly common problem.
Yeah.
So expect more arrogant people in the future.
And now I'm smiling because I just remembered one episode of the most arrogance what I got in my life, and I basically was deeply offended, but now when I'm thinking about it, it just makes me laugh. So everything will pass anyway.
All right. Thank you guys. This was Vidas.
Atauša.
And remember, when you practice,
Miracles happen.